Within 2 years, you can make people miserable enough to accept anything. Seems to be the view.
Okay, to be clear, Jim, you're confirming that they, as you said 3 years ago and 2 years ago and last year, you said they were going to cut oil prices in half when it was at $149 a barrel and suddenly it plunged, because they really are running things. This isn't predictions. This is what the elite are saying. Are you saying that, yes, indeed, they've engineered the crisis to terrorize people into accepting the new bank of the world, the new world currency?
Either they engineered it or they're surely celebrating it. They are exploiting it to promote the, well, as you said, also the new world currency. But they've been so far behind their schedule on that. In fact, the Patriots have been winning, as I've said so many times. Bilderberg was confident of having an American Union by the year 2000, and that was 9 years ago. And we don't have an Amerio yet. They were first wanting to just dollarize the Western Hemisphere, but now they want to be in the Amerio.
Oh, so they do want to go with the Amero. Jim, in the limited time we have left, just a few final questions. You said record security, that they shut down the entire Palace area and 3 hotels in the resort. You said you've never seen this level of security. Why? Do you have any inside info on why they're acting so afraid?
Well, they're paranoid. Every year, as a secret site, they try to make it. They get widespread publicity. In fact, Charlie Shelton's going to have a piece, I think, Monday in the print edition of his paper, The Guardian. There's a lot of freelance reporters here, others associated with various broadcast networks and newspapers, and there's seems to be just about as many journalists as there was before. It's hard to get the for demonstrations with cars being stopped and people bullied or fully 2.5 miles away from the scene of the gate. So while there's less dramatic protests like you saw at Chantilly last year, they're here, and the journalists are here.
Wait a minute, Jim, I was saying police were coming up and arresting people 100 yards away. You're saying 2.5 miles away, because I keep seeing videos where it's like seashore and trees and no buildings around and highways. Are there just, from what I've been told, there's police just everywhere arresting people all over I mean, this is total police state. I mean, the media should be all over this with their reporters being arrested.
Oh, and they surely are taking the guy's camera and pulling out the film, or forcing them to erase it. They have one of those gizmo cameras where they can simply erase it. They're doing that. They did Charlie Shelton 3 times. He's a glutton for punishment. And there's been a large number of guys who've told of those experiences.
Okay, Jim, Jim Tucker, in closing, when are you getting back to the United States so we can get a full 30-minute report here on air from you? When are we going to see the big print edition in American Free Press with all the details?
That will be in the one that goes to press next Thursday. The next one you get, if you have, let's see, this is Friday. The one mailed out today, or Thursday night, last night, we'll have the story filed prior to the meeting itself.
Okay, what has security done to you? Because you always do the ritual of trying to walk into the gate. Have you not done that this time?
Oh, well, I did, but they didn't say a word to me. They just turned the car, the cab driver turned around, and I was speaking to them, but they just gave me that a funny look. As you know, they've known me for years from the photographs they've taken, and so he knew who I was. Well, several cops knew who I was, but they told the driver that the cab driver had to go away, and so. Well, the way the gate was locked, he couldn't even crash through if he wanted to.
Jim, do you think they were angry from last year when we were only 50 yards away, bullhorning them with you there?
Well, they're angry from every year. Every year they're angry that they've been discovered. They're angry that there's protesters. They're angry that there's reporters. But I'm hopeful that they'll cough up the list because of major newspapers are now covering the story. There's a heavy story in the Times of
London
today, and there's going to be more tomorrow. So I'm hoping they're coughing up. But
in closing, Jim, sure. In closing, Jim, to interrupt you because we're almost out of time in 30 seconds. They seem to be very grim-faced. You said in your article in American Free Press. Are they upset? Are things going well for them?
No, things are going bad for them. Americans are responding, the Europeans are responding, and their program has been blocked. They're still trying to do these things we discussed earlier, and we have to keep fighting so that they don't succeed.
Well, this is the Global Cabal, and you're there on the front lines, once a voice in the wilderness, now many people joining you. Jim Tucker, go with God. We're praying for you, and we'll talk to you again next week. Great job, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, there goes Jim Tucker. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. Coming up, we'll talk to the London Guardian reporter, who's reportedly been detained or harassed or arrested for the third time.
Don't give up.
All right, we got the London Guardian reporter coming up in T-minus 9 minutes. A bunch of other guys I'll tell you about later, but I wanted to finish up with Paul Watson. We got interrupted by having Jim Tucker on. I'll break down those huge breaking pieces of information. You watch, all that's now going to happen in the next year. I mean, it just happens year after year. These people actually run things. We actually go to these countries and get arrested and detained and have moles inside in the Secret Service and Bilderberg group members who don't like it. And it's so incredible. I mean, I've been in hotel rooms finding bugging devices and been followed and been arrested, and Jim's been shot at, and all this is happening. And it's not cloak and dagger. We're not like James Bond, all fancy and, super handsome and in perfectly tailored suits, Mr. Universe. This is just real people, gumshoe detective type folks, and myself and Paul Watson and all the other great people. There's quite a few rogue alternative media people there. There's quite a few mainstream people there who are kind of laughing at first, but now being arrested. And so, if we just point out this is criminal, this is illegal, this is the cabal, they'll fall. And that's starting to happen. As Paul Watson said with his great article, where the Dutch Prime Minister grilled over Bilderberg following Prison Planet article in the Parliament. The Queen's being grilled. You got to have guts, because guts is enough, folks. You just believe in it, take action, tell the truth, don't stop fighting, and we're going to win this thing. Paul Watson, though, finishing up with Government Ready's youth corps to take on vets. New York Times training the school children to take on the veterans. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Paul Watson, finish up.
Right. And I mean, in the article, I point out that they're shifting away from the traditional Boy Scout pursuits of sports, camping, team leadership, survival skills. And they're going forward and militarizing it, quote, to confront terrorism, illegal immigration, and escalating border violence. And it's all under the banner of this Explorers program, which is exactly how the Hitler Youth came into being. It started out as the Boy Scouts, and then it was militarized and became a preparatory school for the training of future Nazi leaders. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, this screams out Hitler Youth to me when you see these pictures of these teenagers with guns, and they're being sent out to disarm disgruntled Iraq war veterans and people like that who are all catalogued in the Homeland Security lexicon.
Disarm them. There's photos of Homeland Security saying go in and kill everybody. I mean, kids are practicing killing adults. Good Lord.
This is going to be introduced under the pretext of a national crisis, which relates to something that's we're just going to post on the website now. There's a top influenza expert called Dr. Henry L. Neiman, and he's saying that now because there's been a case of swine flu in Scotland, which, quote, fulfills the WHO requirement of community transmission in 2 or more regions, that the WHO are about to raise the pandemic level from 5 to 6, even though, swine flu has proven less deadly than the common influenza.
Which allows them to go around laws. Which allows them to basically suspend laws and bring in that George Bush, now Obama emergency. And they're saying, as I predicted, it will mutate in the fall and kill everybody. That's probably hype too, folks. But to fearmonger everyone into taking the new special triple shot, now you got to have 3 flu vaccines every year, Paul.
The good news is that there was a Reuters article yesterday which did a survey and said that only a third of Americans would take a swine flu vaccine, and that's just after all the fear-mongering. So imagine if it happens again in a few months, that number will be even less. So at least.
Hey, did we send you that San Francisco Chronicle article where they were admitting the CIA released the swine fever flu in Cuba. That's declassified. And that almost every swine flu outbreak, 1918, 1976, happens at military bases after they're vaccinated. And then admitting the swine flu shots in the 70s killed a bunch of people. I mean, they're going to shoot people up and they're going to die. And then they just say, oh, that's how it is. You know, I mean, it's such baloney, Paul.
Right. And then we had the Professor Gibbs a few days ago saying that it looked like it was manufactured in a lab, or accidentally released from a vaccine lab, as is always the case.
By the way, have we gotten the CNN and MSNBC to apologize for attacking us, saying we were kooks for saying it was engineered?
Not that I know of, no.
That doesn't matter. They're discredited scum anyways. Paul Watson, great job. We'll be talking to you again throughout the weekend. And going